Send it to Queensland, Australia. I know exactly where you can get a free MacBook repair. What you need to do, and this is guaranteed to work, or your money back, is you're going to send the computer over to Queensland, Australia. So send a text to 0450-455-223. That's 0450-455-223. Hey everybody, how's it going? So today we're going to be working on a MacBook that needs to be fixed. This appears to be a model A1990 MacBook that we're going to be working on today. If you'd like to learn how we go about fixing a MacBook, then I highly suggest that you watch the video. If you don't want to learn how to fix a MacBook, then I suggest you unsubscribe and go to hell. So today we're going to get started by first opening the MacBook. Opening the MacBook is one of the most important things to do when troubleshooting what's wrong with it. And to do that, you're going to need a screwdriver, but you're also going to need a magnet so that you don't lose the screws. So over here, we have the MacBook. I'm going to open up the bottom of this MacBook. We're going to unplug the battery like we usually do, and then we're going to try and figure out what it is that is causing it to not turn on. Now, we're going to plug in a power adapter, and once we plug in the power adapter, I'm going to try to see how much power it is that this computer is taking when it is not plugged into a battery. So I kind of really explained that very poorly. So the computer is going to take a certain amount of power when it's not plugged into a battery, and that's going to kind of give me an idea of what's going on with the computer. So let's do that. So let's see if I actually even remember how to open a MacBook. I don't think I remember how to open a MacBook. What do you do if the MacBook is not fixable? You move on to the next MacBook. You say bye-bye this MacBook, and then you move on to the next one. Can you go over how USB-C negotiates power input? I had a fight with a guy who said you can't plug a higher charger into a PC because it will blow up. Interesting that you're not able to actually find the application that you want when you right-click if you use Unity. I mean, this is ultimately my fault for being stupid enough to use Unity Desktop, but check this out. This is really weird. So I'll just do a display capture over here for a moment. So watch this. So I'm going to right-click, and then I'm going to go open with other applications. So I want to manually navigate to Paul Daniels' application. If I click View All Applications, it only shows me applications that are installed, not applications that have been downloaded to a folder. And if I click Find New Applications, it opens up this piece of shit, which allows me to, I don't know, find other installed app. But it doesn't actually allow me to manually navigate over to an application, which, like, why I'm using Unity is beyond me. XFCE is way superior. But, yeah, this is the joys of Linux here. They just never end. You know what I'll do? I'll fucking open Flex Board View manually, you cunt. That's what I'll do. Here, I'll open Flex Board View manually. You fucking piece of shit desktop interface. Don't use Unity. Unity sucks. Unity is a sack of shit. I don't know why I decided to use Unity. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me. XFCE. You want XFCE. XFCE is far superior in every single conceivable way to this Unity rubbish. Just, so much better. Okay, so how does this negotiate USB? Okay, schematic and board view. Here we go. And it doesn't want to see Flex for some reason. Here we go. That's better. So, shut up, phone. Here for Kevin answer. Okay, so this over here is going to be the USB-C controller chip. And what this does is it... shut the fuck up. So, over here, you have U3200. U3200 is going to be the USB-C port controller. And what this does is it is going to speak to the charger on a data line over here, USB-C, XB, CC1, and CC2. And what this does is it then goes over to the charge port. So the charger has to speak to a controller before it actually does anything. So if you put a there's no such thing as like a 5 volt versus a 20 volt versus a 9 volt USB-C charger. There's no such thing. It's USB-C can be any one of those things, and it is the job of the device to tell the USB-C charger what it is, and then for the USB-C charger to then put out the right amount of power. You are not going to kill a device by using a, quote, too powerful charger. This is separate entire. Now, this is when it comes to voltage. When it comes to amperage, even if you have, let's say, a 20-volt charger, and you have a device that is a 20-volt device, if you have a charger that can put out 8 amps and the device only needs 2 amps, the device is only going to grab as much as is necessary. You're not going to hurt the device in any way by using a charger that is more powerful. So let's say I have the ability to bench press 275 pounds. If I go over to a smaller bar, let's say I go over to an 80-pound bar and I go to bench press it, I'm not going to, quote, hurt the bar because I'm bench pressing 85 pounds, even if I'm capable of bench pressing 275. I'm not going to hurt the bar. That's retarded. What's going to happen is I'm just going to lift it, and it's going to be less of a load on me than it otherwise would have been, but I'm more than capable of lifting an 85-pound bar if I'm capable of lifting a 275-pound bar. The idea that you can kill a device if you use a charger that is not totally different voltage. So for instance, I have an e-bike battery charger that's 58.8 volts. If I plug that into a MacBook, it will die. But it's going to be really fucking difficult to plug a 58.8 volt charger into a MacBook, although admittedly it might be fun to do on camera. It's not something, so if somebody's telling you you're going to kill the device because you're using a charger that's not made for it, they're woefully misinformed, and I would avoid listening to them altogether. Yeah, XFC for the win. XFC is way better. XFC is better than Unity in every conceivable way. I'm a big fanboy of XFC. I love XFC. I don't know what possessed me to try Unity over here. I did, and never again. Okay, so we're just about done opening this up. We're going to open this up. Hopefully that answers your question, John. I'd like to see an e-bike charger plugged into an 820000165, please. Why? That's such a nice little board. That's an air board. They're lovely. That's... Okay, so the first thing that we see in this computer when you open it up is that it is absolutely filled to the brim with dust, which is going to have to get blown out in order for me to feel comfortable giving this back to the customer. So first thing we do is we are going to unplug the battery. Let's just unplug the battery. Oh, look, somebody already unplugged the battery cable. Look at that. I didn't even have to unplug it. Oh, thank you. You made my job easier for me. Okay, so somebody opened this before. And whoever opened it has no idea what the fuck they're doing because they unplugged the fucking cable without putting it back in. Shame on you. Unless there was a good reason for that. If this was liquid damage, then there is a good reason for that. Which, by the way, I have reason to believe that it is. Can anybody show me? Can anybody tell me where it is? Anybody over here that's paying attention can show me where the liquid damage is? All right. So we're going to plug in our charger, and as you can see, the charger is stuck at 5 volts, 10 milliamps. That is nothing, so it's not actually going to be doing anything. Now, since I do see some minor liquid damage, one thing I'm going to be curious about is if when I unplug everything that's plugged into it, do I get a different response from the charger? Now, some of the liquid damage that I see, I'm not sure if you guys can see it. It's going to be over here. Alright, you see that? It's on the dust. It's actually on top of the dust. I got a little bit too much HDR here. We got to turn down the HDR at some point because that's crazy. That's way too much HDR. Nobody needs that. You guys are going to get too fucking spoiled if I pump up the HDR. I don't want to get you guys spoiled on HDR. But anyway, as you can see over here, that is green dust. And that green dust tells me that there is water, and there may be water around that connector. All right, it's actually very clean underneath there. So here is a big problem with dust, is that it actually winds up absorbing the liquid damage, and it makes your machine more likely to get liquid damage rather than the liquid just kind of flowing away. You can't say incel on Twitch, you'll get banned. Twitch doesn't pay me, so I don't give a fuck if I get... I really don't care about it as a platform. Twitch is a shitty platform. So the thing with Twitch is that you're not allowed to dual stream to another platform unless you sign in. You can't, if you want to get paid by Twitch, you have to sign an exclusivity agreement with them, which says you'll only stream to Twitch and not to another platform simultaneously. The problem with that agreement is that they don't tell you how much money they're going to pay you. You get to figure that out after you sign up. So imagine if I walked up to you. I just imagine this for a moment. Let's just say I walked up to you. Let's say you make 15 bucks an hour, right? And I said, I will pay you an amount of money that is written on this piece of paper. But this wasn't plugged in, so this is bad. Yeah, I will pay you an amount of money that's written on this piece of paper. But in order to figure out what's written on this piece of paper, you need to quit your current job, and you need to then sign an agreement that does not allow you to go back to your current job. Would you sign that agreement? Because maybe the paper says $50 an hour on it, or maybe the paper like says nothing on it. Maybe the picture, maybe the paper has like a picture of Anel laughing, and there was no job at all. So it's not about subs. It's about the ad revenue that you get. Because again, you don't know how many people are going to be willing to sub to you until you actually are in the program, and you don't know what the ad revenue is going to be until you actually sign up for the program. So you don't really know how much money you're going to make until after you sign up. And if you realize that it's a bad deal, then you can't go back. And you know, like there's a lot that's wrong with YouTube. It's funny to me that a guy that dislikes Apple is the guy who's repairing their products. It's funny to me that somebody that dislikes cancer decides to become an oncologist. It's funny to me that somebody that doesn't like child abuse becomes a child abuse counselor. That's just some of the most retarded logic I've heard in a really long time. Very, very, very bad logic. And by the way, that bad logic is coming from Twitch chat, not YouTube chat, so I rest my case. YouTube is the superior chat. Also the superior platform. Lewis, has any customer given you gaming laptops to fix? Yes, and I fucking hate it. We got one the other day, and it's pointless because I can't find a donor board to it. I can only find new boards to it. The chip that is burned, I can't find it anywhere, and the only donor board I can get is $900. So yeah, I despise having to work on gaming laptops because I can't get anything. Like at least with this, I have already worked out my supply chain so that I have chips and parts, and I'll help Kevin with the phone. How can I help you?
Hello?
Hello?
Is this Boston Repair Group?
Yes.
Awesome. My brother has an iPhone 7 Plus that earlier this year had the audio IC repaired out in LA, but after about maybe 6 months or so it broke again. Do you guys do that?
It's going to keep breaking, that's the thing. So if he needs the data off of the phone, then maybe it's worth it. But if he doesn't need the data off of the phone, I would just sell it as broken, buy a used iPhone 8, and call it a day. Because that phone's motherboard is defective by design. Also, another thing that's going to happen to him is eventually the exact same problem that causes it to not have audio is also going to cause it to not have service. So then he'll get to a point where he's not able to make phone calls right after we do the audio IC repair.
Wow.
So that phone is a money pit. So, I mean, like, it's fixable. It's just, A, the amount of money we're going to charge you at this point is probably going to be more than the phone is worth because that phone's a few years old. And B, it's going to keep happening to you and interesting in other ways. So it's kind of a money pit, in my opinion.
Gotcha. Thank you for the heads up because, yeah, I was sort of wondering if this was going to be a recurring thing, but that sounds like it gets worse. Just for reference, since I don't know if you can necessarily grab something new right this minute, what would it cost if you guys did it?
Like $150. You can tell when me quoting $150 that I have no desire to do audio IC.
You were saying like an iPhone 8?
Yeah, the iPhone 8 doesn't have any of these issues, and it's the next generation, and you can find them used pretty affordably. So that money would be better put into a used iPhone one generation up than into this one, which will just fail again.
Totally. Okay. Awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
No worries. You have a good day. I really do not want to do an audio IC. I fucking hate audio IC. Okay. Okay, so let's see if we get any different result with everything unplugged. 5 volts and 10 milliamps. So we're pretty much stuck at 5 volts, 10 milliamps. Now, what do you all see? What do you see? Do you see anything? Season's greetings. Anyway, you can check the status of my repair. Oh, fuck off. I'm streaming, you fuck. Fuck's sake. I shouldn't have let people know I have access to this fucking system. Let's see. Your ticket is, let's see, 45376.
Oh, sweet mercy.
Your ticket is in Dan's status, and Dan tested positive for COVID. So, bada bing, bada boom. Enjoy. There you go. There's your, let's see. Yeah, your ticket is in Dan's status, and Dan tested positive for COVID. So, yeah, about that. No status for you. No status for you. Your tech, no, I'm not even kidding. Like, that's the reason I'm fixing boards right now, is because Chris, Dan, and Inel are all home after having fucking tested positive for COVID. So, no status for you. You literally get you get nothing. Yeah, okay. So what do we see over here? If you want the official version of that, like delivered with niceties and all that, then call the store and Kevin will, you know, like do the professional version of what I just said. But yeah, I'm picking things out of his status and I'm going over them now. So this is where your charging chip is. Your CD32. I can't tell if that's a 15 or a 17 because of the shitty camera angle. They could be working from home. No, that's not how this works. I'm not fucking delivering them their like laptops out of their queue, and then when it needs somebody else to do the rest of it, then that has somebody. Like I'm gonna need a full-time driver to do that, and setting up like no, we're not doing that. Fuck that. Fuck that. So, as you can see, this is our standard charging IC, the CD3215 or 17. I honestly don't even remember because I'm out of practice on here. And you have green shit over here, green stuff over there, so liquid got over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a little bit of a flux and a reflow and go from there. So we're going to get, now before I do flux and a reflow, I am going to unplug, to be nice, we're going to unplug this over here because I don't want, with my luck, I'm going to wind up melting the charge port off of the board. So we just take that, put this over here. Oh, okay. And a little bit, we're going to use a little bit of flux. Small amount. 1 pawl. Okay, you ready? Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. That's right. That's how we do repairs when the boss is in. You're suggesting having to work from home while you're sick? Calm down, that's not how Rossman does business. Au contraire. I am an absolute and utter slave driver, and I would have no problem forcing everybody here to work from their fucking deathbed if necessary. I just don't feel like driving people their stuff. I just don't feel like being a chauffeur. Don't give me credit for things that are not true. I shit you not, like literally 2 days after Steve had a heart attack from the vaccine, he was working again. Not even because I told him to. I didn't tell him to. It's just kind of a... I think I probably set that culture at the company, and it's probably my fault partially for setting that as a culture, but... You know, Steve got his second Pfizer shot. He had a heart attack hours later. He was literally back at the fucking store within like 2 days. You know, fucking with his PC 3000. I think that I've fostered a workaholic culture. Yeah, but there's going to be a lot of people calling into bitch over the next week or two because a bunch of people didn't show up. I think we actually closed the store Christmas Eve because so many people wound up with positive with COVID. So we usually don't close on Christmas Eve. A bunch of people didn't show up today. So I'm expecting the pissed off calls to start coming in pretty soon. So we're going to be fixing some boards. At the end of the day, it doesn't, like, nobody gives a fuck. Like, everybody here could literally have cancer and be dying. It's like, where's my fucking computer, you know? Like, at the end of the day, nobody gives a fuck about my problems or their problems or any of that shit. They want their stuff back. So give me a moment. I'm going to get myself a donor board, because this board looks like shit, and I don't want to just file off those components. 018-820-01814. One moment. Gonna put my little muzzle on. My little mask. Okay. I'd like better donor selection, please. A1990, but all these have flux or liquid damage in the very section that I need. I know, I don't like boards with the CPU. Remember when I used to give you boards with the CPU and you'd say, I don't like this, I don't trust this? Somebody actually left a super chat asking for status on their repair, and I said, your tech has COVID, come back next year. I feel bad, but I'm going to get to it. Yeah, I'm going to try this one first. Luckily, it's just... I thought A1990 was the year where they started using CD17s. This is still a 15. Yeah, it's stuck at 5 volts. This is going to be easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. Yeah, I got to start dumping NL, Chris, and Dan stuff all into your status and my status.
You might as well put it all in mine, and then as people come back, they just pull from my status.
Yeah.
And I'll just work from the oldest to the newest. Well, don't touch the Dan first, because I think those are the next ones I'm doing.
Well, Dan has one that's a rush. That's the guy that was asking. If you could grab the rush out of his status, and that would be great. Whatever guy just left a super chat in my chat, if he also pay. I feel bad for him. Tell him come back next year. We're gonna do a little bit of a makeover over here, all right? You guys ready? A little bit of a makeover. Ooh, that's nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty. I think it's different for a hospital, John Ellis, because at a hospital, obviously, you know, you're dealing with, your entire profession is dealing with people that are immunocompromised. Like, you're always going to be around sick people. So I think it's a bit... Yeah, get that resistor out of there. Alright. Part of the rub there, and I'm probably oversimplifying this, is I'm not rubbing very hard when I'm going over the board solder mask, but I rub hard when I know that my tip is touching the solder pad. That's a subtlety that's not going to show up very well in a video. Also, I don't care if these capacitors and resistors are not soldered on perfectly, because you're going to see that the surface tension is going to flow it all into place really nicely at the end. I don't want to use too much heat. There's really no need to use a large amount of unnecessary heat on the board. So I just want, when I'm going to kind of get it all into place at the end. So I'd rather use one swab of heat to get everything into place rather than, you know, numerous. So see, like, none of those components are really in place. They're all horribly jagged, right? That's disgusting. How could you do that to a customer's MacBook? Why would you ever give something back to somebody like that? You piece of crap, you schmuck, you unprofessional. Oh, see, it all literally just flows in a place and then looks literally like it came from a fucking factory. Bada bing, bada boom. Next up, the corroded shit over here. You go. You go. They don't care. Hello there. They don't care. They do not care. It's not their business. It's not their life. Their lives do not revolve around me, as they shouldn't. Run. That's irrelevant, Remdog Cap. It's irrelevant to my personal life. I don't pay my employees' bills. They pay their own bills. I simply facilitate an environment that allows them to do work that then allows them to make money. Which makes me an evil capitalist bastard. Okay. Okay. Okay, at this point, I think it would safe to say that I can plug this in and that I'll get 20 volts without even replacing the CD3215 because the liquid barely got into the CD3215. But there's one way to find out, right? And the way that you're going to find that out is by plugging it in. Also, actually, I found something. Oh man, Paul's gonna be so mad if he sees this because I always get boards like this. I always get boards, but this is the issue. Hopefully, Paul's not watching the stream right now. If he is, he's gonna be fucking pissed. Look at that. You see that? I bet that's a PP3v3 cap right there. I bet that's a PP3v3 cap right there, and I bet that was probably the problem all along. Yeah, let me take a look with Flex board view. Yeah, Paul's gonna be fucking pissed. Okay, what is this? What is this? What do we have here? So if I take a look on the schematic and board view, you are, no. Okay, no. PP bus, G3 hot, SSD. Okay, so that's going to be PP bus going to an SSD buck converter. Rawr. So that's going to be 12.6 or 13 volts going to this chip, which then turns that into 2.5 volts for the NAND. Yeah. Gross. All right. Well, no big deal. You always just take a look over the board. And you don't let that back in. Do I still have hot tweezers on my desk? Let's see. I actually do use hot tweezers from time to time. I don't hate them. I think I used to have them on my desk, and they are gone? Interesting. Well, if somebody else knows how to make use of my tweezers, I guess... I feel like I'm making that meme of the... Oh, never mind. It's over here. It's under a donor board. So, what is... Okay, so first things first is it's going to be really disgusting to touch that area. I don't want to touch that area and, like, have a bunch of burning dust. Burning dust smells really bad. So... Now I remember why I like hot air more than hot tweezers. Bruh. Hello. I could literally pick the board up by this. Jesus Christ. Yeah, for those of you who wonder why I often default to hot air instead of the tweezers, that's why. Now I remember. It's such a pain in the ass. And of course that cap is going to be missing from every fucking donor board. Of course it's missing from every donor board. Why wouldn't it be missing from every donor board? Alright, let's grab another one. We'll grab a cap that's just like it. Okay, is this in good shape? Let's see. One way to find out, right? We do this. We turn the board around. We plug it in. 5 volts, 4 milliamps, 200 milliamps, 200 milliamps, 250 milliamps. And nope, it's stuck. Okay. Okay, so we got some work to do. We're still stuck. We may need a CD3215. So, let's just go over to the board view for a moment. We're going to take a look how this goes together. So this still gets V in from 3v3 pp3v3 underscore g3 hot underscore rtxx. Okay. No dice? Okay, so 3.3 volts is not going into the chip, so I can't blame the chip. What I can blame is whatever's creating it. So let's follow that back. pp3v3 underscore g3 hot underscore rtc underscore x. Alright, next. Where are you coming from? Dynamo hum, where's that dynamo coming from? Because I haven't heard from the dynamo hum. Dynamo, because I haven't heard anything from the dynamo from the dynamo hum. I got a spot that gets me hot, you ain't been to it. Da-da-da, got a spot that gets me hot, and you ain't been to it. Da-da-da. Cause you gotta get into it to get out of it. And you gotta get out of it to get yourself into it. Are you still a 0 ohm resistor? Yes, you are. Are you shorted to ground? 70 ohm? No. No. None of this. No! You're a low voltage line! No! No! You be shorted with 0 ohm short, not this bullshit. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? How can I help you? Ah, Kevin beat me to it. No, fuck this bullshit short. Okay, let's see. Is this 3.3 volt regulator actually being told to turn on? Let's see. R6968 will give us an answer to that question. So I'm going to plug it in. I unscrewed this like a dumbass because I didn't want it to fall off while I was heating the CD3215 on the other side of the board. Now it's going to flap around and drive me nuts. You'll see. Okay. Cause if I never get out of it, I'll never get into it. And I gotta get out of it to get myself into it. R6968 is going to be the enable for PP3v3_RTC. And that's over here. Top resistor. What the fuck? .4. That's bull. Bruh. Bruh. Okay, so PP3v3_G3 hot is not being enabled. So this is not going to create PP3v3_G3 hot because it's not even getting its enable. And its enable comes from the U7000, which is probably an ISL 9240. Boo. Let's see. Yeah, it comes from ISL 9240. So this is the point where I find the ISL 9240. Give it a hot reflow. Give it a hot yoga reflow. Also, double check my work over here. How can we help you? Hello? Hello?
Hey, hi. This is Rehan. I hear you guys repair Macbooks and such. And I wanted to tell you about my problem so you could quite possibly give me a quote.
Sure.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I spilled water on my MacBook. And it came back like a powered on, except it won't work without an adapter. And so the battery keeps depleting with each passing every single time I turn it on, basically. You know what I mean?
So that's either a bad battery or a motherboard issue where it's not recognizing a working battery. You can bring it in for a free estimate and we can try and figure out which one it is, but I don't have a way to tell you which it is over the phone.
So the battery is dead because the laptop says that the battery is not charging. and it needs to be replaced. Like I know this because the battery was in poor condition to begin with.
Okay, well, you're welcome to bring it in.
So, but no, but like, how much do you generally charge? Say if I had to replace the logic board, get a new one.
Well, what year and model do you have?
It is. Hold on. It's 2018 13-inch.
Usually $199 for the battery or $425 to fix the motherboard, depending on what it is.
Okay. And if I were to bring it in, how long do you think you would take to, say you had to replace both?
We wouldn't be replacing the motherboard, we'd be fixing your existing one. That's the price to fix the board that you have. How long it takes, that right now, probably longer than usual. I can't tell you just because half of the store is out with Omicron, so I can't give you a time frame. So it's usually 1 or 2 days for the battery, or a few hours. It's usually a few hours to a day or two for the battery, and for the motherboard, 2 to 5 business days. That's what it used to be, but I can't tell you what it would be at this moment.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you. I'll get that.
All right, bye-bye. Thanks. Okay, so everything there kind of adds up. Now I'm getting 250 milliamps again. Interesting. But what do you mean spiritual? What the? I was talking like an asshole that wanted to get off the phone. Okay, so now the 3.3 volt rail is there, whereas it wasn't there before. This makes no fucking sense whatsoever, but whatever, I'll run with it. Now, the next thing that I'm gonna take a guess on is that CD3215 that was in the liquid damage section of the board is the CD3215 that I need to replace. I think that's a safe bet. That's a safe bet. So first thing I want to do is I want to see what the behavior is of each CD3215 area. So this one, 0.00 amps, no boot looping. 0.00 amps, no boot looping. Next. Next. Okay, this is 200 milliamps, 250 milliamps, different behavior. No boot looping. Typically, the one that has different behavior than the others is the one that has a problem. On this side. Okay. 250 milliamps, no boot looping. Hello.
Hello.
What can we do for you?
Hi. You guys repair iPhones that are stuck in a boot loop, or do data recovery on a phone that's stuck in a boot loop?
We do. How did yours get there? Was it a drop? Was it water? Or did it say, like, was your space almost full and then you went to update and then it stopped working?
Actually, it was none of those. It was completely out of the blue. And yeah, and actually, I had an older. This was like almost a brand new iPhone. It was either the 11 Pro Max or the 12 Pro Max. I can't remember, but it was only like maybe 4 months old. And I had an old phone do this, but I had my stuff backed up. On this phone, I have about 5 months of pictures that were not backed up. So that's my problem. But literally, it was totally out of the blue. Like, it was working 100% fine, no drops, no nothing, and it just went black and then booted back up into just the Apple screen. And I have tried literally everything to get it off of there without destroying the data, and nothing has
Well, here usually it's 450 to 650 to get the data off of those ones. The 11 anything over the 10 or the 10 and over is more of a pain in the ass because the board itself is a multi-layer board that's soldered together. So just to even do basic troubleshooting, there's a really pain in the ass process that you have to go through. We usually just take a deposit based on how difficult that job's going to be when we get it. And then you would only pay for the repair if we are able to get your stuff. If we cannot get your stuff, then we refund you the deposit besides return shipping.
Awesome. That's fine. I've tried everything. I'm actually in Kansas, and we met a guy randomly who pointed us to your Facebook or YouTube page, and then I got to your website and saw it that way. So.
Oh, very cool.
Anyway, so do I just follow the instructions online to get my phone sent in?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Is it a total pain in the ass, problem, I may never get it back?
There is a chance of that being the case. Yeah, I mean, not all of them are recoverable, but.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I just look online, get my phone sent in, and just do the deposit, and you guys take it from there.
Yes.
Okay, we'll do that then. That's all I needed. So I'll look online, and we'll get it sent in. So.
Okay. Wish us luck.
Okay. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. You have a good day. How can I help you?
Hi, this is... Huh?
Hello.
Hi, this is Carly. I just got an email from you guys on an update on the card recovery.
Ah, yes.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. This is going to be a painful conversation. I forwarded that one to Kevin. My patience only lasts so far. I could just tell from the beginning of that phone call that was going to be a 30-minute phone call. That's all Kevin. Hello, Sonny. You got me a vacuum? Yeah. Oh, thank you. No worries. Everybody who's talking about backups, I guarantee, has lost something at some point in their life and is just pretending that they're holier than thou at this moment. That's what drives me nuts about people. It's the idea that just the way they snivel and look down on somebody that made one mistake at one point in their life, it just makes me sick. That's strange, Duck Vision. Very strange. So what I was doing there while I was on the previous phone call is I was plugging in the charger to every port, and only one port had weird behavior, and it was the port that's associated with this chip. So one of these is not like the other. Nelson, I am at work, you fuck. Get the fuck out of my chat, you cunt. There's no Shane in today, there's no Hi in today, there's no Steve in today, there's no Dan in today, there's no Chris in today, there's no Anel in today. So yes, I will do double duty. The sad part is I'm not even going to be here tomorrow because I have to drive to settle that other fucking... Anyway. I back up my stuff, but I don't back up my shit every single fucking day. You know, that I mean, I guess you could set something up where it automatically connects to a Samba share the moment you connect to Wi-Fi and rsyncs your stuff and blah-de-blah-de-blah, but, not everybody does that shit. I mean, my martial arts instructor, if he wanted to, could laugh at you because you didn't look while you were in a parking lot and somebody snuck up on you and smacked you in the back of the head or some shit. But it's like the nerd version of that, and it's just so disgusting to me when I see people do that. Snubbing their noses at people because they made a mistake at some point in their life. Fuck you. Omicron is mild as a cold. For the most part, Omicron seems to be... Steve got it, he said he had a cough and it felt like a cold. Why would I test without a chip plug on the board? It makes no sense. I know exactly what I'm going to get if I try to plug this board in without the charging chip that controls the charger plugged into it. Nothing. I can't read whatever showed up on the screen because I'm soldering a chip right now. And I know it's going to fly away from me if I use my peripheral vision or read the screen. Okay, let's see if this works. Twitch chat once again proving it doesn't know how to pronounce shit. Alright, motherfucker. Let's do this. S-O-L-D-E-R, you cunt. Alright, watch this. How about this? We're going to go to dictionary.com and we're going to do something for you. You ready, you fuck? You ready? Are you ready? I bet you're not, but we're going to do it to you anyway. Solder. S-O-D-E-R.
Solder.
You hear that, fuck?
Solder.
You hear that, you fuck?
Solder. Solder.
Exactly.
Solder.
All right. Back to the regularly scheduled program. Long-time viewer, can you fix my MacBook for free? Send it to Queensland, Australia. I know exactly where you can get a free MacBook repair. What you need to do, and this is guaranteed to work, or your money back, is you're going to send the computer over to Queensland, Australia. So send a text to 0450-455-223. That's 0450-455-223. Is he in channel? I don't know what that means. Okay. So it looks like we have 20 volts. 20 volts. 100 milliamps. Okay, now we got 20 volts, 1 amp. You can't see that on screen because I'm a shitty YouTuber. There we go. And as you can see, this bitch is turning on. Bada bing, bada boom. So it had a bad CD3215, some liquid damage, and some minor shit near the SSD, and a cap for supplying 12 volts over to the SSD buck converter. I'm going to clean off the desk a little bit. We're going to plug this in. We're going to see what shows up on the screen. And it'll probably work just fine. And then we're going to give it to one of the reassembly people here to reassemble. Yes, we have assembly people. So the board repair people put their brains into fixing boards, and the people that don't have brains for fixing boards put their time into reassembling shit. That's the way it works. And usually the people who do reassembly, at some point, they may get bored enough that they want to learn board repair, because doing the same shit over and over again makes you want to jump off a bridge. And if that happens, then they are welcome to come over to the dark side and learn board repair. Or if they don't want to learn anything new and they want to keep doing the same shit over and over again for the rest of their lives, they can just keep doing boring-ass reassembly. But yeah, it's a waste of time for the people who are good at board repair to be reassembling computers when they could be using their brain to fix another board, because you don't need a brain to assemble a computer. You do need a brain, like, you know, assembling a computer is something a brain-dead person can do, but you do need a brain to fix a board. So you want to maximize the efficiency of brain by not having brain power utilized in areas where brains are not needed. And assembling a computer does not require a brain, so there's that. Okay, so that little charge port is always going to fly off. I should just admit it. And we're going to plug you in over here. Show what's on the screen over there. Now, if the reassembly people are very busy with other things, then the board people will have to do their own reassembly. And there will usually be protests when that occurs. But it is what it is. As you can see, we have an Apple logo. This is turning on. It boots. I'm a happy boy. I'm a happy camper. So this is going to have to get cleaned up because, as I said, it's dusty as hell. So we're going to blow out the fans. The board is going to get ultrasonically cleaned to remove not just any liquid damage, but any sort of dust that's then going to likely wind up absorbing some sort of liquid damage. And at that point, it is going to be fully reassembled, fully tested by somebody else, and they will have a happy working computer. So that is it for today. And as always, I hope that you learned something.